Alright, so today's video comes directly from my online program where I talk about how you can use crutches correctly. It doesn't matter where you are in the phase of your rehab. If you have a tibial plateau type 1 through 6 fracture, it does not matter. I address partial weight bearing, no weight bearing, and how to get full weight bearing much faster through these tips. Number 2, we also go into a fantastic exercise where you can learn how to move your hips, strengthen your knee. If you're partial weight bearing, strengthen your foot too, but if you're not, an exercise everybody can do. And again, I took this directly from my online program. These are exactly what I did to get myself dancing salsa in 5.5 weeks with the doctor's approval. And also what this guy did right here, look at this testimonial, with just my YouTube videos and the 10-day free program. So you can do it too. Hang on, watch these videos, and I hope to see you all in my online program. All right, before we get started with that, you can feel free to skip directly to the exercise, but this specific video about my wild story with alcohol is the exact one also in my online program. Again, you can skip this video by hitting the chapters below. However, this is really wild and just shows us how detrimental a drop of alcohol is for us during our life, actually, but really the rehab process. So my story was quite interesting. I had just gotten my second surgery. It was infected, unfortunately, and the infection was gone, and now I was on the rehab journey, so to speak, to make my knee completely pain-free. I had about 10% left of my journey to go. I recognized when I woke up in the morning, especially after dancing an evening of salsa, so that would mean from 10 p.m. till sometimes 5 a.m., dancing full-on salsa, that I would wake up in the morning and my knee would be a bit stiff and it would be a bit painful, maybe for the first 5 minutes. So I always assumed that was just the fact that I had had my second surgery and it also got infected less than a month previously. So during Christmas, you know, you have those times where you just have all those Christmas cookies and you just can't take anymore. That was my experience for like 10 days in a row with alcohol. A beer here, a bottle of wine there, some schnapps there, nothing extreme, but was always around. And in general, I probably had 7 to 8 drinks a week. And most of those were just because I was dancing salsa. So Friday came, this is usually where I would have 2 or 3 Aperol spritz and then go dancing. And I had just had enough alcohol. So I said, you know what, today I'm just gonna drink some, I don't know, non-alcoholic beer, whatever. So I did that, went dancing, and I woke up the next morning, and as I stood up, I realized right away, my left knee didn't hurt at all. That first 30 seconds to a minute to 5 minutes, whatever, that stiffness was 100% gone. That was never the case in general, nonetheless, after dancing salsa all evening before. So right away, I was like, pretty impressed by that, right? So that was now Saturday morning because I went dancing on Friday. Saturday evening, because it was still the holidays, I went dancing again. So by no way in the world would dancing 2 days of salsa, again from 10 p.m. till like 5 a.m., dancing full time, could I wake up on Sunday with not only not having knee pain, but my knee feeling even better. That was when I realized what alcohol does to our bodies. Now, keep in mind, I'm talking like, oh man, from 10 to 5 a.m., maximum 3 Aperol spritz, so 3 drinks. I'm not getting hammered, I'm not getting wasted. Exactly the opposite. I have to be able to dance, I have to be able to move around, I have to be able to lead a woman while we're dancing. So I was going home sober. The alcohol was out of my system. But still, at the end of the day, ethanol, and I believe it's acetaldehyde, which is what it converts to, is toxic for our bodies. I think it's a bit sad that just in our society, we accept a little bit of alcohol as being okay or being healthy or whatever. I don't drink anymore, specifically for that reason. I was absolutely blown away by the fact that I could go dancing 2 nights in a row, have absolutely no knee pain on that Sunday, where previously I would have knee pain for at least, I mean, when I say pain, I'm talking like 10% discomfort, right? I mean, it was wild. I was already ahead of everybody else when it came to how my knee felt. So I just thought that last 10% was I needed to do some more strengthening, some more stretching, and just give it more time. I was shocked for the fact that it was 100% related to having around 7 drinks maximum a week. So I cannot reiterate enough. If you can just kick the alcohol 100%, you will recognize that your knee gets so much better, so much faster, that it's truly uncanny. And I think sadly enough, even the science that we know about drinking is underestimating that importance. I want to go over crutching technique. In theory, this is not super important because so many of us will go from not using no weight bearing at all to not even needing crutches, which is also a bit extreme. But either way, I want to go over 2 different techniques. One is the 2-point technique, I believe is what we call it. And this is what most of you will actually be doing because we're not allowed to put any body weight on our leg. Therefore, we don't want the leg behind us because that's where the accidents happen because we can't see our leg. So we want it in front of us, and I'm gonna make sure I stay in the camera here. And basically what we do, which I'm sure you're all doing now, is you set the crutches down and you swing through. So I'm gonna turn back around here, set the crutches down, you swing through, set the crutches down, and you swing through. Now this doesn't matter what crutches you have. If you have American crutches, European crutches, it's all the same. However, the 3-point stance, when we start putting some pressure on our leg, this is what we really need to understand. Because what we need to do, my left leg is my broken leg, is as I step down, I need the normal heel to toe gait. So I don't want to be like this, as I see many people do, because what that's going to do is it's going to, 1, prevent you from getting this nice pumping, natural pumping motion, I should say, of swelling out of your leg, because as you use the leg correctly, you're going to get this nice kinetic chain of muscle contraction, which is going to help push all of that swelling up. But you're also going to get the nice arthrokinematics, so the joint movement of the way the ankle, the knee, and the hip should work. So what we can do here, and I'm going to be honest with you, they obviously told me 0 weight bearing, but actually for you type 1 and type 3 people, you guys are usually allowed to already put 20 kilos of body weight, so this is actually very good for you. But what I did was I probably put like 5% alone already on my own after like week 3. I'm not suggesting you do that. I'm not a doctor and I'm not your doctor either. I'm just telling you what I did. So what we do with the 3-point stance is we come down heel to toe, because that's how we walk. We always strike our heel first. And as I come down, you see as I'm doing this, boom, hitting my crutches at the same time my foot comes down, because I can actually do this without even setting my foot down, just going through the motion. So what I did was not that. What I did was this. I step down and I come out just like this, right? So I'm gonna do it this way too. I come down, I step through, I come down, and I step through. Now the part that is going to be the hardest when we don't have crutches anymore is going to be this push off phase of the calf. So here with my left leg, as I step through in a normal gait, that's what's going to get extremely tired in you, and that's where you're going to probably most likely feel the most pain. So what we can do here is, as I do this, as I rock through, I can try to begin to use the crutches less, especially for you 20 kilo people, and push off with my foot. So then what can happen is, at the beginning, I use the crutches 1000% and I don't do anything. But then towards the end, what I can start to do, like when I'm allowed to weight bear, or for the people that already can, is I can use the crutches less. So you can see my arms are kind of giving in like this. I'm allowing the crutches to give way, and I'm allowing my leg to work. So we're literally using this 3-point stance, because we have 1, 2, 3, in order to assist us as much as we need, until we no longer need the crutches. Now, a little side note is, when I was told, okay, good, you can walk, you don't need the crutches, I kept the crutches for about 5 more days and I tapered them off, because towards the end of the day, I was walking with a funny, we say gait, so that's the mechanics of your walking, with a funny like gait, because my leg was tired, my calf was tired, the arch of my foot was tired, my knee was fine. And so I use these just to help walk and keep my, what would I say, walking technique, I guess, my walking form. Good, because we don't want to jack up our ankle, of course not our knee, but also our hip and lower back just because we're walking incorrectly. All right, so other great exercises we can do when we're really not able to put any body weight on our leg is we can do hip flexion, just like this. This is fantastic because we can do this in all different directions, bending the knee, keeping the leg straight. And my break was so bad that the gravity in this position just hurt my knee due to the scar tissue. So this was great for me to kind of just get some blood in my lower body, move my hip around, also get a little bit of knee flexion. But we can go from this position and we can do the same thing. I'm gonna pop forward here a little bit, backwards. So I'm putting no body weight. I'm not even touching my leg on the floor, and I'm able to get all these different positions that we're gonna need when we start to walk again. So I know there's been some fear I've heard about in some of the Facebook groups where people think they're gonna have to learn how to walk again. Don't worry about that. I've never seen that in my entire life, and nor did I have to experience that myself. However, doing stuff like this is gonna help the muscles not atrophy, because little scientific fact for you here. When we don't use a muscle, so in this case, when we're not even allowed to put the leg down and we're like lying in bed all the time, it takes 24 hours for the muscle to start to atrophy. So now, fitness-wise, we don't have to worry about that because we're moving around, we're walking. So if you didn't do your abs exercise in the last couple days, don't worry about it, because even just moving is working your abs. However, with our injured leg, it's a completely different story because we're not using it at all. So again, going into this hip flexion, yeah, okay, so both are hip flexion. This is straight leg hip flexion. This is hip flexion with a bent knee. Hip extension, coming back like this, and also like the hip extension, but you can do both at the same time if you want to work on your coordination, or you can also just move it like this to get some of that range of motion and blood flow better in the knee. And you can also test your range of motion against gravity here, and also scar tissue and kind of good pain versus bad pain. What is the difference? How does it feel? And like I say in many of my videos, if you reach a point where it's a bit painful, try to massage. So like in this case, sit down, massage the area, come back up and see if it gets a little bit better. And then you start to understand what is limiting you through the progression of your rehab. Like, is it actually the knee and the break and the screws and the plate, or is it just more a little bit of tight tissue, adhesive tissue, or some inflammation, or just the fact that it's early morning and you haven't gotten the blood flow in your leg yet, preventing you from moving farther? Because if it gets better, then it was the latter of the two. And then again, you start learning more about your body and also this concept of good pain versus bad pain. All right, so those 3 videos were literally taken from my online program. The one about my story with alcohol, how to crutch better, if you will, and the really simple exercise that we can all do to really just generate blood flow and better health for our leg. So if you enjoyed this video, please subscribe to the channel, hit the notification buttons, because I'm going to be doing 1 tibial plateau fracture video a week, if not actually a bit more when I post these online videos. It's a little bit quicker for me. And number 2, sign up for the online program. The first 10 days, as you've seen a few times in the video, is 100% free. I don't even need your credit card information. Many people that sign up, depending on when you do it, also get a free opportunity to have a 30-minute phone call with me, where I get to meet you, put a face to the name, and I get to learn about your story too, and how you broke your knee. I did mine with an e-scooter accident. I can tell you that when we chat. But more importantly, I hope this video helped. Let me know if it did. Shoot me an email like Matt Gallant did, the one you saw in the beginning. And I really hope the most of your success, if we see each other or not, in the future. But also that I hope you guys join my program and I can put a face to the name and talk to all of you very soon.